Okay, and welcome back to another episode of the Day After Podcasts. Episode
What's up? Uh, yeah, I'm looking a bit more spiffy now.
Yeah,
Haircut. Yeah.
I'm not.
I mean, you already look spiffy.
Oh, thank you, thank you. So yeah, what an episode of Survivor, I gotta say.
Yeah. I love how the first thing well, first off, I know last episode you stated, and I kind of agree a little bit. They spent a lot of time on Edge of Extinction. This episode, no
No,
Edge of Extinction.
I was so happy. I
I
was
was,
so happy. You
I'm
were
like,
not?
Tyson.
Yeah,
Also,
okay.
if they didn't show anything on Edge of Extinction, that also means that he didn't have an opportunity to get a fire token.
He's gonna have plenty of time. He's gonna be over there, and then he's gonna come back
Okay.
at the end of
Fine.
the game.
Well, I'm thinking about his next opportunity, which looks like, according to which looks like it's going to be the episode after next, because spoiler alert, next episode is going to be a double elimination, and that'll bring them to 12. So
Or it could be the Malcolm tribal, where they both go to tribal at the same tribal.
no, I think they're both going to vote. I think they said in it both tribes,
We'll
losing
go.
tribes will go.
We'll go to tribal.
Yeah,
They didn't clarify if they're both going to a separate tribal or one tribal.
I think it's going to be separate. They have too many contestants to, get
Yeah, I,
through.
I, I agree. I hope it's they go to separate tribals because I hate when someone goes home because they just go to a joint tribal because at that point you can't control it as well as if you are able to talk to your tribe.
I mean, yeah, it's random everything, and I feel like I said, there's technically, if we include returning player or people coming back from Edge of Extinction as another player,
Mhm.
22 castaways. There's going to be a lot of double elimination episodes.
Yeah, you have to keep it all in the amount of episodes that they're allowed to show.
Exactly, exactly. So, man, do you think we're going to have a 7-person finale?
No, no. It's got to be the five people plus everyone on Edge of Extinction that
Oh,
has
yeah.
that one person that comes back. So technically, everyone's probably going to be there in the finale.
Well, you know what I mean, as in like the
And the
final, the
actually
like
actually actually playing, yeah, I'm thinking only
oh,
six.
yeah, like final six, and then someone from Edge comes back. I
Yeah.
don't know. We'll see. But speaking, let's worry about that bridge when we cross it.
Okay.
Let's worry about the bridges that were burned this episode. You know?
Oh man, this you know what? I gotta be honest. Sometimes tribe swaps, I'm not impressed with the tribes that come out of it, but I really loved pretty much every tribe that came out of this. There's something interesting going on in every tribe.
Pretty much, yeah. Like with I put the colors. So like with the blue tribe, obviously the Wendell, Michelle,
Oh, that's so good.
dude, it's awkward AF. Like,
And Nick and Parvati, Nick telling Parvati that he had a crush on
I'm
her in
like,
high
oh Nick, Nick, still not over it. Like, honestly, the first note I put down when they showed Nick, I'm like, meh, or something.
school.
Because I was that little guy. Um, still not over it. Still not over it. But
You're still not over the Tyson vote a week later.
no.
It wasn't even his decision. It was a group decision, and you're blaming Nick.
Yeah. Anywho, anywho. But yeah, I am a little concerned for Parvati's sake in the sense of like, what if they cast votes for her to flush out an idol? I don't know. Because if she gets through the next tribal or the next pair of tribal councils, she will make it to the merge, and she'll be the only 4-time player to make it to the merge every single time, uh, which we want. We want.
Yes, yes,
Uh,
that which is crazy that she's pretty much one tribal away.
yeah. Uh, who knows? Maybe the Blue Tribe. Yeah, I would say they have a really good composition of people.
Yeah.
If we're talking about challenges, you have Yule, you have Wendell, and Barbara. I feel like they're out of all of them, they kind of have the best like group of people.
Hmm. Yeah,
Or
yeah,
challenge.
they're the most diverse in terms of what the challenge is going to be. They have better coverage than
Yeah.
some of the other tribes.
Yeah. The Red Tribe, I do like that Tony and Sandra are still together,
Yes.
like that dynamic duo.
Yeah. And
Um,
also, but we should also say Sandra makes the merge because her idol is still good on the next tribal.
yeah.
So
So
she made the merge.
pretty much, all she has to do is
She's play it on herself, and she's
she's
guaranteed.
not going to give it up to anyone. That's not
Yeah,
her style.
yeah. She'll never give you an idol, even if she thinks maybe you'll go home. She'll play for herself.
I think she might take a note from Russell Hans and like make it look like like, oh yeah, all the votes are coming to me, all the votes are coming to me, like do something like that, or kind of like what she was doing in Heroes versus the um Russell too, where it's like, I'm gonna vote you
Yeah,
Russell.
she's gonna be antagonizing Tony. Watch it. Just she's gonna turn on Tony to make everyone else turn
I
on
don't no, I don't that bond's too tight unless it's like orchestrated that way. But like Heroes versus Villains, Sandra even said it. I would hate to go home with the idol in my bra. So like Sandra is not sentimental about souvenirs. She's going to play that idol. The question is, will Kim be on their side?
Yes, that this is the big thing. Is it seems like Kim is with Jeremy and Denise.
Looks like it can be because, I mean, Jeremy and Denise, they're well, obviously both of them are good players,
Hmm.
but I wouldn't say they're as big of a threat in the grand scheme of things as Tony or Sandra.
Yeah.
Um, then again, I feel Sandra is only a threat because they make her a threat.
Hmm.
Um, but at the same time, it's like kind of like what they discovered in Game Changers. It's like that's how Sandra wins anyone but her, and she kind of just slips under the radar until boom, she's at the
Yeah.
end.
Yeah, and she's
Uh,
at that point where if you're a two-time winner and you get to the end again, you're going to get a lot of votes again. Like it's regardless of how you played.
I mean, it's impressive. Um, but yeah, also there was one thing that Tony mentioned on the when he's talking about the like lions and the hyenas and how Modern Survivor is, where the lions kind of go after each other and it's the hyenas that kind of like win the game.
Hmm.
I think that's his version of sleeper threats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, is Tony trying to be the sleeper threat of the season?
Mm, I still think he would consider himself a lion though.
Yeah. Oh no, he's like a hyena wearing lion skin. Like he's playing the game of the hyena, but he's still going to be perceived as that lion.
Hmm. Perhaps. I definitely think maybe there is cross. I do think it's either one animal is wearing the fur of the other. I guess as the series goes on, we'll discover what animal is what.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's playing a good game so far. And then let us go to the green team.
Yep, the tribe that went to tribal council.
Yeah. But yeah, like the Survivor gods, he even said it before he went to that team. It was like tribe swap fucked me over last time. and it very
It
much
did
did
the
so.
same thing, yeah.
I think he kind of jinxed himself that way. But that brought me back to another point of like Survivor foreshadowing. He mentioned that, and then he got eliminated the same episode. Obviously, editors know this shit. Nick said something when he was bequeathed
Yes.
the Survivor token.
I wanted to talk to you about this because I was like, Ryan's got to be so happy right now. The fact
I'm
that
like,
Nick wants to work with Tyson.
I was like, maybe this is the editors being like a little foreshadow.
Yes.
Um,
I think so too. I don't think he's coming back at the merge.
I
I think he's coming back at the ends.
I don't think
Because
that
I think Natalie's coming back at the merge. I think that she's so positioned
she
herself.
has enough
And
fire.
I looked at the fire token menu, and it's one token for an advantage in the challenge, and you can buy 3 of them.
You can buy up to 3.
Yes.
Huh.
So that means that she's buying 3 advantages in the challenge.
But it could be a thing of like she use it. It could be that cruel twist of irony where she uses all those advantages and it doesn't pay off.
It's
Like,
possible. It just seems like they're spending so much time with Natalie. Like if she doesn't come back in the game.
well, I mean, Survivor edits, like at the very beginning, it seemed like a Boston Rob Sandra war, and that's kind of died down a little bit. But
Yeah, but
I
then
mean, we saw
they're both going to be on edge of extinction, and we're going to have them fighting over fire tokens.
perhaps. Though I do like how as soon as they get to the Green Beach, the two former red team, he was like, was Amber unanimous and stuff like that, and then like he was down for like figuring shit out about it.
Uh, Imagine if Sandra was in that group.
Oh man, I think that would have been worse for him.
Yeah.
Or depending on who was there, like because the thing about Rob's game, he's a lot. He does play, like I'm the biggest threat out here, and he wants everyone to know it.
Mhm.
And that's kind of low key his downfall.
Yeah.
In that
Yeah,
regard.
you can't play that game in this kind of season. You can play that in a Redemption Island where people don't really know the game. You can't play that here.
In an all-star season, especially since like you're one of the most, if not the most famous Survivor player ever, one of the most iconic reality game show icons.
Yeah, there was a TV show that I was seeing the commercial for, and they were talking about Boston Rob, and it wasn't for Survivor. It was for a different TV show.
Amazing Race.
No, it was called The Unicorn. It was a sitcom, and they were talking about Boston Rob, and the whole promo was about Boston Rob.
Huh. I've seen clips and like I've seen advertisement for it, but I haven't really paid too much attention to it. But
Yeah, but like just that just shows you though that he transcended Survivor.
yeah, like people know who he is. Like even my grandma, if I'm like Rupert or Boston Rob, she knows who Boston Rob is.
Mhm.
Rupert is her favorite, but like if I mention Boston Rob, she'll know.
Uh,
But also with the green team, they went on their idol hunt.
yes, this was pretty interesting. I actually didn't know who was going to find it. Um,
Yeah.
because originally it was Sophie that went out looking for it, and then all of a sudden it went over to Boston Rob talking about how he doesn't know how to find idols because he needed 4 clues to find his. Um, and then it goes as he's talking, it goes back to Sophie. Sophie finds it, and then there you go.
And she hides it in her pants, which
Yeah.
that's kind of like the thing of like you know remember the one time, I forget which season, but the dude pulled down his pants just to show that he did not have an idol at all.
Yeah.
Like, granted, we don't want another Dan scenario here, but it's like I feel like that's the only way to be sure that no one has an idol. Just everyone strip naked.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? I think I'm probably in the boat of if you found the idol, you should just be able to have it. You shouldn't have to be telling everyone, "Hey, you need to drop all your positions, drop your bag, get rid of everything," because that kind of just ruins the game once that starts happening all the time.
Well, I mean, Denisa hit it very well.
Yeah,
She hit it well.
yeah,
Like what you do is you hide it on your person, or like with last season, like hide it in your hair or stuff like that. You have
yeah,
to be creative about it.
yeah.
So I mean, she hit it pretty well, and then just furthering that Sophie Sarah alliance. Or one thing that I got out of like when they had this tribe swap / division is the red team just kind of wins in almost every single scenario.
Yeah.
Like has the majority on the new blue team. On the other red team, unless Kim decides to swap, and even if she does so, like Sandra could easily use it on herself, and then it's debatable whether or not they would go for Sandra or Tony. But red team, I feel like still kind of works out in that regard.
Mhm.
Depending, like it's too early to tell, but like it honestly depends where Kim wants to go with the alliances. And then obviously with this tribal council, Sarah already having one advantage,
Yeah.
Sophie, finding an idol and having that, and the fact that they get the three former blue tribe members that kind of all were fractured.
Mhm.
It just works out for the red team pretty
Yeah.
much.
And Sarah could have just played her steal a vote and been safe, but they still decided to try to play their magic. And in fact, when uh Jeff pretty much asked like, "Okay, are you guys ready?" And Sarah didn't do anything. I was like, "Oh my gosh, is this going to be like a Sarah made a mistake moment?" Like I had that moment where I was like, is Sarah going out?" Because it almost seemed like with the camera they did kind of like a bit little shake, kind of like, "Oh no."
That's what we love about cinematography. Little subliminal things like that.
Yeah.
Can help create a story or create tension or stuff like that. Speaking of that tribal, just but before we get to that, we need to go into the immunity challenge. But before we even get into that, I think I also know why they voted out Tyson.
Oh yeah, why?
So they've had the idol, right? The immunity idol, the tribal immunity idol.
Uh,
Now, on closer examination of it, it splits into two parts, and usually when they have like a tribal thing where it goes from 2 teams to 3, they have an idol that splits into 2 parts. What if off screen they discovered that the idol came apart and automatically assumed, okay, there's going to be 3 teams?
there's a good theory there. I wouldn't be surprised because Tyson, with all those connections, means that he's probably going to go to a tribe with at least one of those connections.
Exactly. And so, like, with the whole thing about the, first or second time players, teaming up against the people with pre existing connections, like, they don't have to worry about that because this tribe swap is going to happen anyway. So I think that was another thing that kind of led to Tyson's downfall, at least for now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but this immunity challenge, oh yeah, I was throwing things and then solving the puzzle. It was like here's the I don't know, like with these many people left and they're all kind of like at least on one tribe there's someone I care about to some capacity. Like it's like I don't really want to see any of them go, but one of them's gotta.
Yes.
Because I really want to see Michelle and Wendell's little
Yeah.
awkwardness grow a little bit more. I
Mm.
would like,
But I
that.
really don't want to see anyone on that tribe go either right now. And I know that you have your thing against Nick, but Nick is not going in that group.
uh, not unless next episode they are get or like Parvati is offered like a advantage for a fire
She
token.
has 4 fire tokens now.
Yeah, uh, which makes her the most dangerous player in the game when it comes to fire tokens.
Yes, and we gotta remember, probably all the old scorers are going to give her things now. So that's Boston Rob, Tyson, Amber, Ethan, maybe even Danny.
Maybe. Um, just goes to show like Parvati's game and like like sometimes you don't have to do much, but be likable and
Yes.
be someone that like be aligned with the right people. So yeah. Also, when it comes to like the red team, I don't want to see Sandra or Tony or Kim go, especially since Kim, she's probably the safest one there,
Yeah.
but with Kim, since she's the person on my guest list having won
Mhm.
in my prediction, I kind of liked her to be in the game much
Yeah.
longer.
Yeah,
So
well, I like everyone on the red tribe. Like, I
yeah,
personally root for everyone on that red tribe. Like, I like
honestly,
Jeremy, I
getting out
like
of
Denise, I like Kim, I
competition.
like Tony, and I like Sandra. Like,
Yeah, like Jeremy is a great guy, and then Denise has probably one of the most compelling backstories for like a first-time winner, um, being at every single tribal council in her season.
yeah, she is an ultimate underdog.
Exactly. Um, so like I'd say red team is also one where it'd be tough going to tribal. I'd probably be sweating bullets.
Yeah.
And then blue tribe. Uh, I didn't want to see Sarah go. I didn't want to see Boss and Rob go, but clearly,
Uh, you
uh,
mean the Green Tribe?
Green Tribe, yeah. But yeah. So watching this, I was like, uh oh, who's gonna go? And then when it was the green team, I was like,
Yeah,
I kind of felt like it was gonna be Rob because it's like I I feel like he was like the obvious threat.
yeah.
And
Well, I knew that they when they went to the immunity challenge, I knew Buster Rob's team was losing because the title of the episode was "But the Buddy System on Steroids," and the fact that they hadn't talked about that yet made me think,
that
well,
kind
they have to go to tribal now.
yeah, fair enough. Yeah, like I feel like the buddy system thing hindered him more than it helped him
Oh,
in this.
100%. Yeah.
Like, because I feel like, yeah, he's stopping, the two girls from talking to Adam or Ben, but that's also, stopping him from talking to Sarah and Sophie at the same time and like
Yeah.
possibly throw one of the guys under the bus.
Yeah, yeah, because the problem was with that tribe was Ben, Adam, and Rob all did not like each other,
Yeah,
and so it was a case of like the odds of them actually sticking together was so ridiculous that at that point it just seemed like they needed to throw each other under the bus.
yeah, yeah. And then he had too much of a Godfather mentality.
Yeah.
Like,
And I think that's just Rob's gameplay. He'll never vote out his numbers.
yeah,
So he'll always try to keep his numbers strong, even if it's unlikely.
like that. It's just more like with the Godfather mentality, it's like, oh, no one can come after me. I'm
Mhm.
cooped up. Um, and that's good in the beginning because he is great player when it comes to like challenges and everything. But when it comes to when we get to that pre-merge time, which is like 15 to like 15, 13, 14, around that ballpark, like when it starts getting to merge time, you're
Yeah,
stuck with the team. Is like, all right, well, we only have a couple more tribal councils left. We don't really need you.
Yeah. Yeah, you keep Boston Rob for like the first 3 challenges, and then after that, you start thinking about taking him out.
Yeah, exactly. And that's exactly what they did.
Hmm.
Um, honestly, like I said, I didn't want to see him go so soon. I would have liked for him to have made it to the merge.
Yeah, I mean he still has that chance. I know, but he is one. Him and Tyson are both strong enough where they could easily come back into the game.
True, but they only have one episode to get a fire token.
Hey, I'm talking end of the game. That's the more important one.
They have better odds of getting back into the game when there's only 7 or 8 of them, as opposed to like 14 of them.
Yeah, but Natalie's going to make it. I'm just saying Natalie is 100% getting back into the game.
I do feel like she has the strongest chance, but as we've seen in the past with Redemption Island or with Edge of Extinction in its debut season, that's not always the case. First person voted out did not make it back. I mean, with
Yeah, but the thing is with Natalie, she's actually getting stuff to help her with the challenge. Reem was just like, whatever, dude. I'm just going to be here on my island. And then that was her. That was literally all Reem brought to the table.
fair enough, but I mean, it's still anyone's game because I know this game has a cruel sense of humor um, when it comes to like certain advantages, and sometimes it's like, oh, I have this advantage, like you have that false sense of security, and who knows what the challenge may be. I'm hoping it's an endurance one, mostly because I like it when people are able to like drop off when it comes to like getting back into the game. So you kind of have like it's more not necessarily a race, but it's more like a strength of will.
Well, I hate to burst your bubble, but it's not going to be that. It's 100% going to be an obstacle course with a puzzle at the end.
You never know.
I'm guessing that because the fact that you can have 3 advantages means that there's probably at least 3 different obstacles that she's going to be able to just have an advantage to get through.
I mean, that is true, but it could be a thing of like, oh, let's say if it's the pole hanging off thingy, you only have, and like each advantage it gives you like 5 minutes where you're not on the pole, or
Maybe.
like,
I just know that they really like to make that Edge of Extinction challenge really difficult and daunting to make it be like, oh my gosh, they're really having to fight their way back into the game.
fair enough. I don't know. I feel like I hope it's an endurance thing. I mean, I'm gonna be cool with whatever, just as long as Tyson gets back.
Just as long as Tyson comes back. If anyone else comes back, you're going to hate them.
No, I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna not let it go for another how many episodes we have.
Yeah, because I mean, I can tell you're going to hate Nick for the rest of the season.
No, if they make up where if that little foreshadow is correct, I'll be okay with it. But I mean, out of the 6 we have so far on Edge of Extinction, see, I would be okay with Natalie coming back. I'd be okay with Rob or Ethan coming back. I clearly want Tyson. Amber, I would be okay with coming back in the sense of like, so she can pave her own way. Because I feel like she kind of deserves that because, like, she's so synonymous with, Boston Rob. And, like, I was hoping this season, even though, Boston Rob is in this season, she could possibly pave her own, like, make her own, like, story, but doesn't look like it. Yeah. And then, I'm not a big fan of Danny.
I think Amber and Danny aren't coming back into the game. They're just gonna be there on Edge of Extinction as like numbers for Edge of Extinction. We'll probably get some moments with Rob and Amber, but
yeah,
for the most part, Amber and Danny are just going to be on Edge of Extinction just to be there.
Well, that does bring up the next thing about next episode. So obviously we're gonna get that little reaction of like Amber seeing Rob come in.
Hmm.
I'm curious how that's gonna play out. And
Yeah.
then on the next time, Tyson looks like he's trying to do something sneaky on Edge of Extinction. So
Yeah.
what that is.
Yeah, I know, like they showed us very little of it. Like Tyson was just kind of like running around, just kind of like hiding.
I'm excited for that. And then, as I said earlier, because they're eliminating 2 people next episode, that makes it more likely that we're going to get the merge in 2 weeks,
Yeah.
which I'm excited for. Man, like this game. I mean, this season has been pretty good so far.
It's been like really good, and it's weird though because I think some of the vote outs aren't exactly like the most like shocking, um, but it's how they get there,
Yeah,
which is the fun part and the impressive parts.
and then the stakes when you're watching, because like one of the good things about watching like an all-star season is you've seen these players before, you clearly have a favorite or favorite, and so like you don't want them to go to tribal council, and so like when you're watching, the tension is raised.
Yeah, yeah. No, this has really been a good season. I've been enjoying it thoroughly.
Very much so. Also, I get to talk about it with you, so
Yeah,
also,
exactly. Yeah, I'm glad that we did the Island of the Idols podcast so that we could like warm up before we got into Winners at War.
I mean, but let's be honest, we're talking about Winners of War almost every single episode.
Yes, yes, because it was so obvious that it was happening. And it was.
It was too it was too big not to talk about.
Yeah.
But all right, so we're at that point. Best MVP and then worst survivor.
I'm going to give the MVP to Sarah
Yes,
for being able to manage to get
playing it
yeah
right.
yeah with only being able to talk to them for like 7 words.
Yeah. And then, obviously not losing her composure or, encouraging Sophie to play her idol or anything like that. Because, there are some times where you don't lose your composure and you get voted off, but, like these strategies or like these advantages really, really will come in handy later on in the game, especially when it comes to like, when it comes to one vote, it's good to like use that when you can.
Yeah.
But and then so we agree on that. And then worst player, I'm gonna have to say Rob.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Rob too. And I don't like giving the worst player to the person that just got voted out, but this was like there was he basically painted the target on him by doing the buddy system.
That, and it's also like I was also a little bit hesitant in the regard of like I try not to let circumstance dictate it as much as like you know as other factors, like because he couldn't help which tribe he got onto.
Yeah.
He couldn't. Well, I mean, he wasn't on the puzzle, was he?
No, he wasn't.
He wasn't. He couldn't help that part. I don't think he was even in the rotation for throwing the balls. So
I think he was, right?
I don't know. I know that Adam was one and Ben was one. I don't think he was one.
Okay, so there's only two that
I
can do it.
remember a shot of him looking with concern.
Okay, so he was very much not a part of the challenge as much. He just kind of went through and then watched.
So I am wondering, well, because of like set of circumstances, he didn't have too much control of the situation. But I think it's the buddy system on steroids, and then everything like that kind of like hindered his chances of winning.
Yeah. And it's funny because I thought Boston Rob was going to say the buddy system on steroids, but it was Sarah.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing about these who coins the episode the episode title because they always name it after they always name the episode after what someone says. So it's like it's a fun little thing to like kind of look out for too, where it's like, all right, this one is like don't count the chickens before they hatch or whatever, and it's like, who's gonna say that?
Yeah.
Just one thing I kind of like about watching the show because you see the episode title, it's like, who's gonna say it and how's it gonna be relevant?
Yeah. It's funny watching the title or seeing the titles for Survivor Samoa because it's like all Russell Hantz quotes. Like every single, there's like one or two episodes that aren't Russell Hantz quotes.
Well, I mean, to be fair, that was the Russell Hantz season.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Shambo. I mean, mostly, well, one, she's a very likable person, and two, my mom's name is Shannon, and then so it's like, it was like low key rooting for her as well.
Mhm.
But yeah, it was like the Russell Hantz season, basically.
Yeah, it's also really interesting because Sophie, on her season, she had like 23 confessionals in the entire season. You know how she has like that many confessionals in the first 5 episodes of Winners at War.
Wow.
Like that's just crazy how that works. How that happens.
I'm legit wondering how far she is actually going to get.
There's a lot of people that think that she might win this game. People are saying that her and Yul have the best chances of winning.
I do think Yul has a great chance. Kim may be able to pull it around. Tony, like
Tony's always going to be the wild card where it's like he could do it, but it's like throwing that Hail Mary down the field. Like it can happen, but
I mean, I feel like granted we've only seen him play twice, really once, but like he's wiser now. He has pre-existing kind of like relationships with Sandra, with Sarah, coaching Sarah, before her season where she won. So like, he has good ties with a lot of people, and he's not as backstab. He's not nearly as backstabby his first season. Like, he's so far played a pretty straight game. Granted, he hasn't had a lot of opportunities to go to tribal council and things like that. And
I'm worried for him at this next one because if they go to tribal council, he's the only one on that tribe without an advantage.
Shucks.
Tony without an advantage, whereas Sandra has her idol. Jeremy has safety without power. Sophie has the idol. Kim has an idol. And then who else am I missing? Or no, not Sophie. Denise has the idol.
So yeah, I don't think. Gosh, because
like play their thing, and then Tony just be like, "Well, what now?"
Well, I mean, yeah, he doesn't want to get Sareed. And I mean, with all those advantages, who knows? Seeing how 3 of them are immunity idols, it's like,
yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah, and Sandra has to play hers pretty much at the next one. She's not going to play on Tony.
No, Sarah at the end of the day is not Sarah.
And it's looking like Kim wants to flip. Which is
which whether or not will be a smart move for her, because right now original red team has the majority.
Yeah.
I guess it also depends on whether or not they attend tribal council or they see tribal council afterwards, whatever team comes in what place. Because sometimes that might also, lean your decisions, because it was like, oh, okay, maybe, another former blue team got voted off. Maybe I should definitely try and stick with the red strong. Or, oh, another blue team went off. All right, maybe they're going to be desperate. They're going to be looking for someone to like side with them. So I'm going to try and vote off a red team. Something like that could balance her decision based on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And also before we end this podcast, we should talk about Yule's how he started the episode talking about
Oh
ALS.
yeah. Um, I mean, I felt so bad in the sense of like because yeah, we've hear stories about it, and like if you did your research when the water bucket challenge was a thing in 2016 or no 15 14.
I was 14 because I think I was in high school.
I think it was 14 because I just graduated high school and
Yeah.
I had no life. Um, Anywho, um, yeah, and just like hearing, what um, Penner is going through with his wife, and like, I mean, it's horrible to think about.
Yeah, and Penner was one of my favorite players too, and it's really sad to see. It's like what if this happened to Tyson for you, like it would be devastating.
Yeah, I mean, it's devastating in
Yeah,
general, just
yeah,
like, um, and just realizing that, like even even since he's been on the show 3 times and everything, and granted that doesn't he has never won the million. I mean, he's made it far into the game.
he's gotten seventh place. I think that's his best finish.
Yeah, well, that's still considered far. But I mean, besides the whole thing with heroes or not heroes, fans versus favorites, where he got medevac.
Mhm.
Um, like I think it's good that Yule is also playing for them as well, because it's like
Mhm.
another million, so like there is more good he can do, and it's always good to like bring up stuff like this.
Yeah,
Like awareness if you have a voice.
yeah. Yule is now the ultimate hero of the season because now he's not just playing for him and his family. He's playing for another family that is going through some shit right now.
Yeah, I feel definitely with you'll even mention that on Survivor, because they always give out like stuff to fan favorites. I
Yeah.
feel like this might be at the end of it, CBS or like Sia or someone will reach out to Penner's family and like help him out that way.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Sad stuff. I just felt like we should probably bring that up before we end the episode.
yeah. It was early on in my notes.
Mm.
It's on 2 different pages. Like 2 different sides of the page. But sometimes we get sidetracked.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. So I mean, I guess if any of you guys are watching this and you have any, are able to make any donations to ALS, like it really does help every little bit.
yeah. The further we do the experiments, the closer we get to actually, finding a cure or a remedy.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, I don't know how we end the episode now on
Yeah,
this
ended on
note.
a low note, but
Um. Okay, how about this? Let's go through each tribe and guess who we think is going to be the one to go home if they go to tribal.
all right, yeah. So, well, I mean, I think if a blue team goes, I don't want her to go, but I think it's probably going to be Michelle. There's no way like Wendell is. Well, I mean, like Wendell and Yule, they're on, already in an alliance, and also I don't think Nick is going to flip flop because they have the chance to be
Yeah.
Red Strong, and the pre-existing, breakup and everything with Michelle. It just does not look good for her. Parvati has to get like a thing and wants to give it
Yeah.
willingly to Michelle in order to.
Oh, I should also say there's a chance Parvati realizes that she might be going home, or her or Michelle might be going home. Place her fire tokens to get an advantage in the challenge to make sure that they win that challenge.
Fair enough.
Because I know that we said like we would never really see like a tribe thing, but like I feel like if you know that 2 of the 3 tribes are going to tribal, it might be a safe bet to try to secure yourself in that group. No,
Honestly,
not.
yeah, especially since no one else knows she has a fire token.
Mm-hmm.
That does kind of help her in that regard. Or what she could do is give one. Well, it depends on how generous she wants to be, but like give Michelle to use as her fire token, kind of
Mm-hmm.
like slider one, and then make them think that she hasn't used one,
Yeah.
or that, or make them think that Michelle used hers and Parvati still has one, or stuff like that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so there is that, but I still think it's if they go to tribal, it's going to be Michelle.
Yes, it's definitely probably going to be Michelle. There is the chance that they go for Parvati because she's the bigger target. Uh,
I don't
that
know that interaction, and then like they were they were starting
yeah.
to get a little petty.
Yeah. Wendell does not seem like he wants to play with Michelle in this game anymore.
No, merge or not, it's
Yeah.
like
Who do you
that.
think who do you think's the villain of the Wendell Michelle drama?
I don't know enough to really make a. I don't know enough of the story behind it to really have an opinion. Because they
Because what they showed us tonight, last night, I really felt like Michelle was the good one and Wendell was the bad one. I got some of that. That Wendell was kind of being shady.
well, I mean, it's hard to say because one, editing, and two, you never really know how people react to different exes. Like, I have 2 exes. One, we're on good terms and all of that. The other one, God, it's ugh, like
Hmm.
it's bad, and like I could only imagine being on a tribe with that ex and just being like, um, so we don't know where Wendell's headspace because it was a lot of Michelle's point of view
Hmm.
talking to
And
Parvati.
and then when we had Wendell, he was so tongue tied, and we've never seen Wendell be that like tongue tied and not know what to say. Like he
Yeah,
restarted like his confessional like 3 times.
yeah. So that's why I don't think if Blue goes unless Parvati and Michelle gets like a saving grace, they gone. Michelle's gone.
Mhm.
So for the Red Tribe, I think Sandra and Kim are safe. Denise, if she sees Sandra play her idol, she's gonna play her idol. Kim, I don't feel like I feel like it might be Tony or Jeremy.
It's Tony, which is really frustrating. Um,
It depends. Like if
I mean,
Denise
yeah.
wastes her idol, let's say Kim goes for because he only does. I don't think she even told Tony,
Mhm. Well,
but
okay,
like
so here's the outcome that could happen. Jeremy uses his safety without power, freaks out Denise because now she just lost a number. Kim freaks out because she was going to flip with them. Um, and so then they both played their idols because now the game has just been shifted. Sandra
and then
plays her idol, and then we have the
gets
three thing. Like
and then
it
gets
makes sense, and that's what's frustrating.
though I don't know because if I feel like the like removing yourself from tribal, that is a very it's a great advantage, but it has to be used at the right
Yeah,
time.
you pretty much need to use it when you would be the one getting voted out. Like,
Yeah, I don't.
and there's no way that was changing. In fact, you know what I realized the safety without power advantage is the hidden immunity idol in season 11, the first iteration of it. Because the immunity idol back then was you play it now and then you cast the votes. So
Yeah,
it's pretty much just like a slightly weaker version of it.
a less broken one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, because that's the thing about this game where even if you have an advantage, it costs something, or it's not as broken, which is good. There was a lot of planning that went into this, so I don't want it to be Tony, but it looks like it might be.
We gotta hope red team wins.
Low key, yeah, I'm hoping red team wins. That's like best case scenario.
Yeah.
And Sandra can sit out,
Yeah,
So-
she is sitting out. She is going to be on the Sandra bench again.
Exactly. And then for the green team, because they have the advantages, I don't see Sarah or Sophie going home.
I think Adam. I think that they're going. I think Adam is the most likely one to get voted out.
Adam, because Ben might be blue strong, but Adam, I don't know. Like, I would have to agree with you on Adam, but I feel like there is still a case for Ben going home.
Yes.
I
think we're in the. It's either Ben or Adam, and I don't want Adam to go home because I like Adam. I'd rather Ben go home, or to Edge.
Adam is cool. I just feel like it hasn't really been his season so far.
Yeah.
Like, he's had good moments, like last episode where he didn't give up and then he pretty much helped change.
Yes. And let's also not forget the great moments of him not being able to put the fire into the little slots.
Or they even have a thing with the urn this episode.
Yes, like honestly, I think Adam needs to get some glasses or something because his vision at Tribal is not the best.
Well, it's nighttime fire, so I guess.
Yeah, maybe. But they keep it lit. Like it's not like they're in the dark.
True. Who knows? I mean, it's funny. The millennial, or the guy that won the season, Millennial versus Gen X, and is a millennial. Maybe the one that we see gets glasses at
yeah. Maybe that'll be a reward challenge. Maybe they'll realize, hey, Adam can't see very well. Let's have a reward challenge. If he wins, he gets some glasses.
But I would have to say Adam. Just looking at the shape of things.
Yeah, I think that there's the best case scenario for the Ben pitching it is better than Adam's case to pitch against Ben.
Also, I realized that I made a theater joke.
Oh, what did you say?
Adam and Shape of Things.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Very, very subtle, but
yeah, you should be ashamed of yourself.
At least it wasn't a Pokemon reference, so I feel that's character.
Yeah, I thought we were going to go through a whole episode without talking about Pokemon. Good job.
If we left it on a bummer, then we would have.
Yeah. I know. Honestly, we stretched this out for like an extra 10 minutes after all of that, so good on us.
Okay. Our episodes are long, but they're fun.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, well, I feel like, is there anything else that you wanted to talk about on this episode, or is that pretty much everything?
I think we covered all the bases. Oh, wait, there is one more thing. How is Rob making shittier shelters than Wendell?
I know, right? He had all the practice on Island of the Idols, and he's making like.
Not only that, he was known for being the guy that can make the best shelters.
Yeah, because he was a construction worker. Like he is a construction worker.
And then he's outshined by Wendell. I'm like, what?
Yeah. I think Wendell is the new Boston Rob. Him and Dominic, they played a Boston Rob-like game.
I don't know. Let's see how he plays the rest of this game.
Yeah.
Before we get there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess that wraps it up.
Okay, we got to it now. Okay. Okay, see you guys in the next one.
Peace out.